People watching, that'll be nice. Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of Marvel Card Collecting and Investing. Me, Ginger Man Cards. Hope you're super well. And today I am joined by a very special guest and someone I think has got legs, as I like to call it. And it's Victor, Marvelous Packs on Instagram. Welcome, my friend, and tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do? What are you doing? Like, what's your origin story, my friend?
Thank you for that.
Oh, before we go ahead, this man has the cheek to wear a Germany shirt in front of me, and he thinks it's okay. He's taking the piss. Anyway, go for it, man.
Well,
go for it.
At least, no matter what, we'd have something to talk about. You know, thanks for that intro, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you. I admire you a lot, even though I'm wearing this. I just kind of wanted to throw that on because it's clean. It's clean, and I felt like, ooh, I gotta talk with Gingy. I gotta talk with someone that I admire. I'm a fan of. I love your channel. I love everything you do for the hobby. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I look forward to every time I get an alert about your videos coming up because it's just a great way to unwind, take a break from life, and it's Marvel cards. It's so wonderful to talk about. It's beautiful artwork, and you put a great investing side on it and your own kind of opinions on where you think which set you think is going to pop. And usually you're right, man, especially with PMGs and some of the other chases, jambalayas, and not just retro, some of those 90s stuff too. So I really thank you for a lot of the info, because the info has been helpful for me because I'm a 90s kid,
Yeah, same. So like tell me about your story. Like, how on earth did you come to collecting Marvel cards? Like, let's start with that one, because I'm sure there's a story behind that.
Well, you've done a lot of videos on the set specifically.
Okay.
The 94 Flare. Right, for me, that was everything. To me. I was about 10 years old. When you're 10 and you're going to the toy stores or the 7-Elevens or wherever you could find packs, you just kind of get that feeling of like, what am I going to open? What am I going to find? Am I going to get my favorite character? If I don't, I'm going to take these to school and I'm going to trade. There's no social media or anything like that. And there was no worries about grading or any of that crap. It was just collecting and seeing if you could get a set and actually show it off. So for me, it was cheaper than comics because, let's face it, comics were expensive, especially the ones you really wanted. Like, there's a lot of books out there you can get that are great prices, don't get me wrong, today, but it's still, as a kid, you have allowance money. You only have so much you're gonna get. I had to do a lot of chores for neighbors just to get the packs I wanted. And the 94 Flare were so fancy. They came in those little boxes, so you felt like you were getting a mini box. So I could never dream like now I'm getting boxes to open. And obviously I'm Marvelous, but boxes are risky and it's gambling, and you'd see them at the stores, and the comic people, they didn't even want to sell them by the box. They'd hold on to them and they would just open up a box at a time and sell them at the register. So for me, I would buy those packs because they felt like mini boxes. They were wrapped up. So cool. They had the Flare little emblem, so you knew it was protected. And when you got them, you could keep them. Here they are. It's like, what am I doing? It's a Wolverine one.
They look sick. Yeah.
I mean, even the boxes have like a little hologram like touch. You got the Cyclops.
Yeah.
And of course, Magneto, your favorite. Sorry, I'm putting it on blast. And 95. This is the 95 Wolverine. So the 95 wasn't as close to me as the 94, but these 94s, man, these were what got me in it, to be honest. And I have a few of the Spider-Man base cards that I have graded and some others, but I just love the battle cards too, and the Power Blast. The Power Blast was all I cared about, and they're the hardest to get good grades in. Like, to this day, they stick. They're like the only card in there that will, no matter what, it'll stick, and it'll have some kind of little residue on the surface.
Yeah.
So like one side, and because it's a Power Blast, they're heavily graded on both sides because they're they're awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so have those and love them, but I don't advise on grading it unless you're really sure because they're really hard to get.
Yeah.
If you get a 9, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. So you were collecting these flair cards from when you were young, yeah? We're talking like in the 90s. Have you always collected since you were young?
I mean, it was like, for me, it was cards and action figures. And for me, it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I wish I would have had discipline and not opened any of them and just have like kept them in a box somewhere and taken them out and made believe I was playing with them. But of course, I'm a kid. I opened them and I bought even like, you could get like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle car and put them all up in there.
Yeah.
The van by April O'Neil. Oh man. But anyway, those now are bonkers. If you get one of those, grade it. Get it graded, protect it. It's an investment because if you those toys are nuts, and that's why I know in my heart Marvel cards will be like that. It's just a matter of time,
Yeah,
love it.
So why Marvel? Like, what kind of started you off?
Well,
you said the comics, but
I mean the for us we didn't have like MCU. We had Saturday morning cartoons. And if you weren't an athlete, you got to see some cool like shows because basically all the kids that were into sports, they were going, to practices and games on Saturday, and they were with their soccer moms or their football moms and all that stuff. No, I didn't do that. I didn't have that. My mom was a teacher. She was a single mom. My dad, I was lucky if he was on time to pick me up on the weekends. So for me, it was like I found like the coolest shows in the morning, and then you had WWF wrestling, after that. Yeah. So it was like just the 90s were something else. It was special. It was a special time. You had Spider-Man. You had I even watched the Silver Surfer show. I think it only had like a couple seasons. And the X-Men, of course, was my favorite. X-Men is more my jam. That's why I have a lot of the inserts from Marvel Metal, because even though the quality isn't that good and the PMGs are disappointing, I still have so much fun watching people. I'll watch anybody that opens a box. Yeah. I'll find it on YouTube and I'll watch it just to watch whatever comes out and be like, oh, I know who has that. Now that's the beauty of this. You can see where things are.
Yeah. Such good fun. I mean, recently I've been watching loads of people breaking boxes. I don't know. It's really addictive. I was like on YouTube for hours just watching. I'm like, what are we doing? I'm just watching some open boxes. But
my wife is like, she can tell. She knows that crinkle wrapper sound. She hears that and she's just like, oh no, another.
Yeah. You're sick to the
I stomach. Lost them for 30 minutes.
Yeah. Right. So let's talk, and I'm going to go straight into it. Let's talk SGC, baby.
Bring it. Bring it. I'm hoping you have. Give it. Bring it. I don't care. I'm ready.
I want to know why, how, where, what. And,
okay. All right. Show, don't tell. Well, you got to show.
And just before you do, I should just say for anyone watching, I think that's 2 of you. I think what Victor's doing is very interesting, in my opinion. I think it's very important to, and I'm trying to help light this spark of the Marvel card world. But I think what Victor's doing is very important. Grading cards, it's not PSA or BGS, it's SGC. That's a very big part of sports card world. And I believe there will be a big part of the Marvel world eventually. So, yeah, what Victor's doing is very interesting for me. So, yeah, I'm super pumped to have you on anyway, but yeah, go for it, my friend. Go for it.
Well, I'm encouraged by your comments because I was encouraged also by the National. I saw a lot of amazing momentum by SGC. They were getting a lot of kids into the hobby. I was proud of the company I've been sending to graded. Now, I got to be fair. SGC does not, if you're looking to make some quick money, okay, you can, but you're not going to be making like double on your card So it's $30 a card, 25 if you're a group submission. And basically, you got to be a sharp eye. They are sticklers. I've graded with PSA, I've graded with BGS, and I've graded now with SGC. And
so
I got to say,
you've done all of them.
All of them. I'm not just gonna. I'll go back to PSA if they're fair again and their graders have gotten better. But they've hired a bunch of new people that don't know what they're doing, and it shows with a lot of people getting their cards back. But that's another thing. I mean, sticking to SGC, I really think they look terrific. I mean, this is a 10 Magneto, and it just looks beautiful.
Again, a 10. Wow.
And I only have 7 10s that I've graded myself, sent in the cards, pulled from packs that I've opened that are, in my eyes, gem mint candidates. And I've gotten a lot of 9.5s where I thought I had a kind of chance at a 10. So they're really hard on grading. And get a centering tool, get a magnifier lens, and make sure you're really looking, because they're going to scan the card, and they have a state-of-the-art scanner, and they look at surfaces and centering harder than PSA looks at corners and edging. And we know PSA is really good at that. That's their bread and butter. But they will be lenient. You'll get a 10 PSA, but the centering might look off to the naked eye, and they'll even say 60-40 or 60 this ratio. So for me, that doesn't mean it's not a 10. It's just in their category of how they grade, it's a 10. Yeah. And also, if you look at pop reports for SGC, you'll see there's something called the SGC 10 PRI, which stands for pristine. So if you know what that is not something you're gonna be like, oh, pack pull odds 1 in 8. No, those are really hard to get. That's like getting the black label BGS. Yeah. Very difficult.
Yeah, I love it, man. So why? So you've tried BGS, you've tried PSA. So is it the state of what's happening with those two that you've then decided to go full steam with SGC? I just want to know your thought process.
I'm addicted to grading. Top loader.
You said it. I'm really proud of you.
Top loaders are expensive, brother.
Top
loaders are really expensive. If you do the math, why not slab it? Why not have it in something that's protected? There's no dust, no dirt going into the top loader. You're not going to get any more surface scratches than whatever it already got when you pulled it from the pack. I mean, unless you were like if you watch me open, who is opening these 96 Marvel Masterpieces, I got to throw a shout out to him. He's wearing gloves. He's taking full time. He's making sure he goes card for card and holds it right, not leaving any chance for error. And it's whatever's wrong with the card is from whatever happened before it got in the pack. So, I mean, even if you do all that, it's still like a risk to just have your card, even in, what are these called? What are these called?
What is it?
These are these saver things. Not savers. The savers are what you send in for grading, but these are the protectors or whatever.
Yeah.
So even when you put these in, these are expensive. You want to buy a bunch of these, they're expensive. And if you want to buy the thicker top loaders, they're expensive. I graded a geode. I'm the only one who's graded a geode. Call me like, well, why would you grade that? Fine, but at least for $30, it's never going to get worse on wear, and it's always going to be protected for whoever else owns it in the future, or whether it's me or whoever. And to me, it's like there's something about that. Like if I spill my wine right now, okay, the keyboard's messed up. I might stain some paperwork here, but my cards are good. Everything's good. Everything's slabbed up, and there's something to be said about having your collection protected. And I don't think it's just about that. I think it's like if people remind themselves of why they grade in the first place, they want to ensure that investment for long term. They're grading it so it's easy to tell the next Joe, hey, I took 2 picks of this, but because of this number that it's a near mint or it's a gem mint. You know, like you don't have to do any debate. You don't have to be like, hey man, Gingy's zooming in here and he saw a soft corner, you know, like why are you saying this is near mint? It's clearly got edge wear. And you've said this all the time, like please be very careful buying raw cards. I've gotten screwed over so many times where I've looked at the picture and it looks great, and then they go ahead and have a duplicate and they send me their double that has a bad corner, and I know they shipped it well and everything. So I can't really make a complaint. It's just like, that's what I get for buying raw. I got sick of buying raw. So that's why I started deciding I'm buying packs. And if it's damaged, it's because I damaged it. And I can have the satisfaction of knowing these are my true cards that I graded. And there's just something about it. It's like you put your little touch on the hobby and collection when you're grading your own stuff. And how can you get any better at grading, brother, if you're having to wait 8 months to 2 years for one submission to 2 submissions for PSA or BGS? It's just unfair.
I fully appreciate those points. Yeah, I can't. Can't deny you're right in that respect. Just a quick question from Ryan. Thanks for watching, Ryan. Seeing that PSA and BGS aren't accepting cards for grading, is CGC a viable option? No, they do not accept Marvel cards, and hopefully you've managed to watch some of the other Marvel card content with me and some of the other guys. But yeah, it's ridiculous. We all want it to happen, but currently they do not accept Marvel cards. So yeah. And this is why I have this man on my channel talking about SGC, because it's a tricky situation at the moment in terms of grading, big time. So, yeah, I fully appreciate what you just said, Victor. So what have you got cards that you're, and I look at this in kind of a broader sense. You've got cards that you're PCing, right?
Yeah, so I have...
Is it character or just general stuff you like? So yeah.
So I like Kitty Pryde. I like her a lot. I think her powers are awesome. She's really smart. I don't know. She's a strong X-Men character, and she doesn't have to have like this crazy sexy body to do it. You know what I mean? Like with huge tits and an ass. She kind of carries her own weight with her brain, and she's still beautiful in her own right. And I think like her PMGs look very, very classic. Very classic uniform, and with her hair kind of drifting in the wind. I just thought it was very simple and beautiful art. And this is my PC. This is my personal collection of collecting her. I have a PSA of her. I have SGC of her. I'm looking to get a Beckett of her. I want to get graded all sorts, a rainbow of different companies, and decide for my own true self when I hold the slab, what's my favorite. And so far, my favorite 2 slabs, BGS and of course, SGC. If BGS was moved into the 21st century and I didn't have to fill out a form like by hand, like a secretary, that'd be freaking awesome. And then if they lowered their prices back to something reasonable, even if I had to wait 6 months, I'd definitely send in very specific cards to them, because I think there's certain cards that look great with their slab, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful slabs. I think SGC though, with Marvel, it's just great. They have a history of vintage grading. They've been around for a long time. They're number 3 for sure. There's no doubt about it.
100%.
They're a top 3 grading company, and their Honus Wagner went for over, I think, 3 million or something ridiculous. Yeah, definitely in the millions.
Yeah, I think people do forget. Maybe it's still quite new to Marvel cards, and some of the Marvel guys out there don't grade at all. But SGC have a rich history in old vintage cards. Like, I'm talking more so than PSA and BGS. And you've just said about one of the cards which sold, but that's a big factor. And these are some of the cards you've graded are old, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've graded some cards from the 80s and 70s, and I'm looking for some of those cards that our boy Stacking Gems Charles has.
Shout out to Charles.
I mean, he's got some great ideas. He's always a few steps ahead in the game. Like the more you build in this community, the better. I mean, Ron's a nut. Yeah, Ron, you're a nut. You're gonna grade with HGA. You're a nut like me. You gotta have balls to do this, bro. Like, you really do gotta have like, hey man, I see something special and I believe in what I'm doing. I believe in my collection and I believe in Marvel cards and their future, to be like, well, then the grading company should be null and void. It shouldn't matter to you. It should be about getting better as a grader. Because for me, I'm getting into just starting to grade comics because I love grading. I'm addicted. So I started asking questions, learning how to get the process going with a presser, all these different things. And I think the more you ask questions and build a community, the better off you're going to be as a collector in the long term. It's going to sting at first, but you know, like, I don't know. I feel at least like a kind of a trailblazer until I met Marvel Cards Up.
Yeah, he's smashing it as well.
Who's doing all these PMG. I'm like, ooh, I graded a PMG with SGC. All the boys are going to laugh at me. And he graded all the PMGs.
Yeah.
All of them. And he's like, and they look great. They look great.
I thought they look sick. I do. I fully agree. By the way, when a PMG in the SGC slab, does it move? I've seen things like people saying it's moving.
Let's see. Can you hear this?
Yeah.
You hear that? But it's the thing about these slabs is that they're made thicker depending on the thickness of the card. So when I graded the Geode, they have this indent. Instead of going inward, they start popping out the thicker the card. So it's hard to see because it's not a three-dimensional video, but you can kind of see what I mean. There's like a clear ridge. So it's not going anywhere. It may move, but it'll never come outside of its crease. It's just going to kind of like just a little bit. So I mean, I get it. You know, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. It's pretty. I mean, you're not going to have enough movement where it's going to damage the card in the holder. That's for sure.
Yeah, like it's stuck in.
So it's stuck in there. And let me see if I can show you the other one right here. I still have to put it in the log. That's probably why. So I'm trying to sell some of the cards that I've been.
Yeah, take me through that, Victor, because I'm really interested. We've been messaging for a while now, but you said that to me today, like you're thinking about selling some slabs. So what's your thought process with that?
So with the news with eBay, I'm kind of gonna go with my slabs. It takes a long time to sell SGC at the rate you feel it deserves, and I'm putting up prices that I feel it deserves. Now, I also put best offer, so obviously you can tempt me, and you know, I'll send you the link so you can have it. But yeah, I made the decision today to go with my slabs. They only have cards for sale that are slabbed, and you can also find comics there if you haven't heard of my slabs before. I think it might make for an interesting video down the line for you to check out. Because I looked and they have quite a few Marvel cards in PSA, SGC, and Beckett. So I thought it was really intriguing, and I'm not in a rush to move them. You know, I'm obviously
just testing the water.
Yeah, I want to kind of see, you know, if other people in different hobbies have an interest in them, they might jump in, and it's just good to put them out there. You know, to have more of our Marvel artwork in different medium.
Yeah. I get you, man. That's awesome. So there's one thing you mentioned. There's a question from Ryan. Wouldn't that shake eventually have some form of wear in regards to the PMG?
So I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying, obviously, to shake it a lot more than I have already. I just kind of wanted to, for the purposes of this video, but I don't feel like it's violently shaking in there.
Nothing's gonna happen, put it that way.
Yeah, I really don't think it's gonna be an issue, but I mean, like at the end of the day, I'm being real. This is like it is moving a bit, but it's not gonna come out of its holder. It's in a holder in there.
Yeah. Rhonda Nutt also says PMG is beautiful but so expensive. I have not ripped one or bought one yet. Bid on a few, but no winners. Yeah, you and me both, mate. Yeah, crazy hot at the moment, but in my opinion, completely worth it. Completely worth it.
Yeah, if you can find it, any PMG under $100, try and grab it because that won't last much longer.
Would you like, guys? If you're watching, ComC, and I had a quick look today. This is a tip that I would use. ComC, you've still got 2017 PMGs. a number of them are well under $30. And for some characters, like I was looking at Nova, like you can get, and there's quite a few there. I think about the future of Nova and like what's he going to do.
Such a good character.
Yeah, such a good character. And you can get them for under $30. You have to be careful of the shape, zoom in, double check it, but you can get some serious buys there, in my opinion.
I mean, people are going to realize that even 8s of those down the line are going to get a premium when they get their time. So I wouldn't be mad at an 8.5 or an 8 on any PMG. So for me, the risk is there, but the reward is so much better if you if you go for it. Because for me, it was like I watched your video, and that's what got me to jump into the PMG. It was literally you were like, I know FOMO, and I'm not a financial advisor, blah blah blah.
Oh,
but
glad I have to put that in.
These are not going to last, and these might be something you need to grab, because you go through the sales posts, and I always admire those videos because I'm lazy. Sometimes I don't do my thorough lookup of what's been selling week to week, and just be spoiled and have that like, oh, man, he's just going to go through what's sold. And I see some cards that I bought, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. It's really cool.
You wouldn't believe how many messages I get, like people going, oh, you know, that listing. I was like, yeah, I bought that. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Small community, but growing big time.
We are growing. We are growing big time, because I've never seen so much content for Marvel. When I used to look for people opening boxes, for example, it was like three guys out there that were like doing that hardcore. They were doing it, but they were doing it hardcore as like full set collectors. Now it's like everybody showing off their art, and it's so cool. I love it. I can't catch up. I can't keep up. I miss Spidey Drew's 2017 Fleer Ultra Spider-Man. I missed it because shoot, I was like trying to keep up with everything else. We're spoiled and riches. We are spoiled.
That's perfect. Yeah, exactly. And that leads me on to like my next question. You mentioned it a little bit. Is what in your opinion is the future of Marvel cards, and like kind of what time periods are you thinking something might pop? Because personally, I think something might pop within the next year. I'm not as big as everyone thinks, but something will pop. What's your opinion?
It's bubbling up, and it's really going to get to that point of pouring over, I think, within 3 years, because you're looking at so much MCU stuff coming out, and they've adapted to this pandemic mode. So you have these Disney shows I had no good expectations about.
Me neither.
and I'm so glad I did that, because they are so phenomenal. Like, I think that really like revived it, because it was like, whoa, it's like, how did they know? It's like, did they know something was going on in the world? Because they came up with the perfect formula to keep the MCU just like us wanting more and more and more. So I think it's just, I'll keep it simple. It's totally MCU related. Like, it's totally how the MCU does is how comics keep going on this huge climb, and how we're gaining momentum with it. So I think like the more the MCU goes better with the way Disney's protected, like Norin said, Disney's very good about protecting their products and their properties. So I think like he's always said it really well, that like we're in a good future with anything related to Marvel. I think toys are going to go up right with it. I think cards and obviously comics are just going berserk.
Okay. So you think MCU has the biggest impact?
If we get bored and the movies, then everything is going to go with it. But the way it's been, and like the fact that they made characters that we would have never thought are amazing, incredible, like makes you excited for Howard the Duck, and makes you excited for anything. Any character you get a hint at, or a little bit of an Easter egg, like, oh, and then you have channels dedicated to the MCU that are telling us, oh, did you catch this? This was in this issue of that. And I mean, like, and there's amazing influencers on the comic front too that help connect it. We just need that for cards. If we can get that, and then, but let me just finish.
Okay.
It's begun. It already happened. It's called Marvel's Pack Fresh podcast.
I was literally about to say, we've just done it.
It's begun. It's like, oh my God, it's now sky's the limit. Now we have something where you see all four of the guys, and you guys are talking everything. You guys talk comics, you guys talk pop culture, you guys talk MCU, you guys talk how it ties into these cards, and we can't get enough as fans. I'm a fan. Awesome. So for me, I'm honored to be here too, as much as like this is fun. And I'm like, I need this wine because it's like, ooh, I'm wired.
It's so good. But yeah, like guys, if anyone's watching, you haven't already seen it, Marvel's Pack Fresh podcast is really, really cool. Like it's collaboration with myself, Elusive Collectibles, Sketch Card Hive, who is the Marvel guru, let's be honest, and Spidey Jew, who's also a bit of a guru, especially with comics. Now PMG'S. But yeah, head over to that if you haven't seen that, guys. But so you're confident in the future. It's pretty obvious from everything you've been buying and slabbing.
Yeah, I mean, like these may seem cheap. These may seem cheap compared to PSA and Beckett, but I've done 8 big subs, so I have a lot of these things.
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot of money, and I wouldn't do it if I didn't believe in the future.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Ron's a nut. So there are so many sets. What are the top 5 sets now? If you had to rate them,
what is your top? What is your top 3? And then let me go 4 and 5.
So I've just done an episode on it. 2013 Fleer Retro has to be right now, no doubt. If you can find a box, wow. I literally haven't seen any for ages. Second would be, I mean, it's ridiculous, but Black Diamond. It has to be. Like, it's such a gamble. It's unbelievable. But if you hit one of those massive autos, I think you're.
Have you ever opened a pack?
I wish. You think I can afford that now? No way.
Hell no. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm here, and I love Black Diamond, but I picked those cards up where I can find them. Like I know the parts of that set that people hate, so I go after the stuff people don't want in that. And I kind of am like, one day it'll have its shine because it'll be so rare because there was only so many of those packs, you know.
So they're top 2. Third would be 1990 Marvel Universe. No, I'm just kidding. That boat sailed. Cringe. Third, I really don't know, actually. What would you say?
Oh, I'm going to go with a Marvel Masterpiece set, 96. One I can never get my hands on.
That should be my second, to be fair.
That'll be what I open vicariously through other people, you know, so... Obviously, the 2013 Black Diamond and 96, you could take your pick of which one you want to put in number 1 because you can't go wrong.
But there's so many more sets as well that are just massively overlooked. Massively.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of gettable, like 2016
massively underrated. I think that's cheap right now.
Joe Jusko, and those buybacks aren't even hard numbered, so they're not in the best condition. So if you get a 9 or 8 on those are that's pretty. That's great.
Yeah. Have you got buybacks by any chance?
Yeah.
Come on, show me some cards. This is why we're here, guys. Marvelous Packs has amazing amount of cards.
Yeah, I hope I'm better organized next time.
You need to get yourself a pilly case like these big dogs.
These big dogs have a dope case. The thing is, I'm so picky. I haven't found a case I really have fallen in love with yet. But I do.
Bomb-proof one.
I know. Sketch Card just pulls out his case and he's like, "All right, here we go. Have them notarized." Yeah. This was one Spidey was like, "Get this. This set is really underrated." See, when you're in the community, you get these amazing texts from people. to help you with your character you love. And I didn't even know it was hard numbered. I just bought it for $20 blindly, and it's 90 out of 100.
Yeah.
So that was, thank you. Shout out to Spidey Jew, always a friend for life.
He's a legend. Hashtag blessed.
He is a legend for sure. And oh yeah, let me show you. Here we go. This is my BGS that I really like. Let me put it a little better.
Yeah, I love it.
So this one, my favorite Avenger is Scarlet Witch. So for me, like, I just had to get this comic cut, and to get it in a gold label, I was really excited about that.
Yeah, I love BGS 9.5. I think the label just looks sick, whatever Marvel card it is.
And then this is my PSA, my 9, with
nice.
Kitty. Yeah. So this was back when it was $10 a card.
Yeah.
That's when you could send anything you wanted.
Yeah.
And then this is her main squeeze. Marvel Madness MCU would love this. He's collecting all these planet medals. He probably already has this one.
I need to get him on the channel.
His collection is sick. Throw him a shout out too. He does.
Yeah, we've been talking.
He does box breaks. And buybacks right here. I think they are. Okay. Sorry. And then also, I love this set. I know there's a lot of people that are on the fence with it because of the artwork he does on the women, that they didn't like it as much. But I gotta say, the sketch cards you can find in here are from some of the sickest artists, and I love the way they look. It's really cool.
Is that a sealed box?
No, I opened this one.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna buy a sealed one actually. So that's coming up.
Don't tell the wife.
This is one of the sketches I got from
sweet.
Marvel Masterpieces. Really beautiful piece. Captain America's awesome. And this one as well. Here we go.
Ooh,
that's a Cosmic Ghost Rider. That's a really pretty piece. So I like the stock on them. I just like the like, you can barely see it says Marvel Masterpieces at the bottom. You really can't. So it's like, it really feels like it's just a straight sketch. Very faint. Sketches are a weird thing. That's more kind of like just always a PC thing, you know. And when you pull them, you know, you never really get rid of the one you pulled, because even if the art isn't that great, it's like an attachment.
Yeah.
I pulled that.
Yeah, I've never personally, guys, like, I've never pulled the trigger on sketch cards unless I'm opening a box. I'm keeping it. But again, that's just me. Like, everything's subjective, especially with artwork, artists. Yeah, it's all subjective. So if you like it, you like it.
Exactly. It truly is. And when people put values on certain sketch cards, I'm like, you know, if someone else is down to pay for it, then that's what it's worth.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it comes down to.
Retro Gamer Andy said, "Do they grade toys?"
Oh yes, but it's a different company. And not SGC. SGC doesn't grade toys, but there are companies that do. And there's a toy here I want actually to submit.
Nice.
This is a Deadpool X-Men X-Force. Not that fancy, but I love what's inside. You have a, let me see if I can put in the camera right. There we go. It's hard to see, but there's a Sentinel there being smashed by Wolverine. And this isn't just a regular card. It's a silver X-Over card.
Ah, yes.
So
Big
it's not
fan
just
of X-Overs.
Yeah, it has the silver Walmart X-Over logo over it. So, and it's not, you know, Wolverine does his greatest battle subset in the 94 Fleer Ultra. And I opened that box, and that box is spectacular. I have a SGC 10 Wolverine from it. That is my favorite card of the whole thing. And I only pulled 2 of them. And that was like, in a whole box to only get 2 was like, that stung a bit, you know? But here it is. It's in the split. But this is a sick Wolverine.
So that's 94 Fleer Ultra, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And it kind of has
that
full red background. So it's got that like kind of like PMG feel to it.
Yeah.
Even though it's
wicked cards there.
It's just a base card. And yeah, so this would be a toy I probably want to grade down the line. But yeah, I still got to look into how that works. It's like I said, it's very addicting. So my advice is to people new to grading that want to start grading their cards, be super picky. That means if you're Gingy and you have 8 Magnetos, you're probably only be able to send 1 and maybe 2 tops, because the chances of getting a 10, you don't really take it seriously from other people until you start grading yourself and you realize just how hard it is to get high grades, and with Marvel cards right now, trying to flip them, you're breaking even with 9s and you're making money on 10s. And if it's that hard to get 10s, that's just my caution. It's just, make sure you're super picky on your favorite characters, because it's easy to be biased and be like, oh, but that's the special like insert out of 25 Wolverines that exist. So I really want to grade it, but it might not be worth grading it. You just gotta really be honest with yourself if it's going to get a 9 or 10. You got to really check yourself.
Very difficult skill. Yeah,
it's hard. It's really that's the hardest part. If you have a favorite characters, good luck with that part, because that part, you're gonna find ways to be like, but it could get.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
you're right.
All these companies grade hard, and HGA too. Somebody asked about HGA, and I say go for it. HGA has beautiful slabs. I think they look great. I say go for it.
I personally, I wouldn't with HGA on Marvel cards, but that's just me. But yeah, if you want to do it, absolutely do it. Ryan, can you talk a little bit more about PMGs? I'm more familiar with early 90s Marvel sets. How would you describe PMGs?
I would say 1997, there was a Fleer Ultra set that started it all. And because of Michael Jordan and his popularity, it just became like these cards that now you talk about Spider-Man going for 30,000 or whatever it was, but pales in comparison to what a red Michael Jordan PMG that matches his, the Bulls, and it's Michael Jordan, and it's hard numbered, and it's that stained finish. Those cards go for millions, and they're gonna just keep going up. We're talking hundreds of thousands now, but we're talking years down the line. Those are gonna be the Honus Wagners and the Babe Ruths, because Michael Jordan was everything to, especially anybody that knows anything about basketball. So that set and that guy is what really all of a sudden transformed, PMGs, and now PMGs are starting to take on a whole other kind of beast. But I think that it really just started. If we didn't have Jordan, I don't know if it would really be what it is, because historically, just the way I think about it, it's sort of like LeBron trying to get a LeBron auto. Like, it's just so hard, and that's why those cards go for like ridiculous money.
Yeah.
But important to know the sports side of things, because a lot of cards copy what sports are doing, because they're already in that company. Upper Deck is a sports card company. They don't make their money off selling Marvel sets.
Yeah, 100%. That's a big factor. Is the sports card world, and knowing, I always feel like sports card world is like 4 or 5 years ahead of where Marvel is now. That's what I feel in general. I don't know. Again, my opinion. But,
no, I agree. I think. What do you think, Gingy, when it comes to like another set other than PMGs? Because I think a lot of collectors are realistically getting priced out of their favorite characters for PMGs. I think that road is coming on.
So
What
another
was something we could get? What could we get now?
yeah. It's a difficult one. I mean, honestly, and we've all said about buybacks, but for the price, I think they're an absolute steal. I really do. Like you talk about your 94 flare cards. If you can get the same buyback version, which is numbered out of 25 or 20 or 30 out of 30. Yeah, it's just a no-brainer. Like I just don't.
No-brainer.
Here we go. He's gonna whack one out now.
No, I'm gonna show something else to you. Actually, this is another thing I like about SGC.
Oof.
You see,
does pop,
and you see what else is cool about this? Freddie signed this. It's hard to see the signature, but it's right there.
Yep.
There we go.
Is that pack
and you get this is from Marvel Unbound, so it's pack pulled from the e-pack because only on e-pack once a week. So I went on and got lucky and got one of these. This is actually probably going to go to one of my my friends in the community. So I didn't put this up on the website because he wants to do a trade/buy. He's really in love with these cards. So shout out. I'll throw a shout out to him. Infinite Collector, the Infinite guy.
He's making some waves as well. I like it.
So the 2 grades, you get a grade for the autograph and you get a grade for the card condition.
Yeah.
So this one got a 9 in its card condition.
That's sick.
And it got a 10 with its auto. So you get a double grade. I know maybe you're not a fan of the font or the way the numbers pop, but who's a fan of this typewriter style bullshit?
You did have to say that. You did not have to say that.
I'm sorry, but I had a bone to pick with you about that. I'm like, how is this label so spectacular? So if you're gonna complain on SGC's label, you should be like, well, PSA also needs to upgrade their label.
Oh yeah, like they're stuck in Times New Roman, which is like a classic word font on like a default word font. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you made me laugh so hard in that video. I remember that when you said that. I was like, oh god, like he's right. But then I pulled out my PSA and I'm like, what is so special about this font? Like, come on, guy.
Do you want to explain?
See a break.
Do you want to explain just quickly about Marvel Unbound and what all that shenanigans is all about? Because there's maybe a few people in here, and Ryan, we'll get to your question in a second.
All right.
There may be a few people in here that don't understand.
So these grades, these are the 10. These are 10s. Because Marvel Unbound is a problem. Just like metal, any of these cards are a problem. Because they have horrible cutting and printing issues. So when you have that manufacturing problem in these, and Ages too, Marvel Ages is no better. So basically the only one with Upper Deck to get it right was Black Diamond recently. But all of these have horrible edging or corners, and I have a 9 Black Widow. I'm sorry, but to me this is a 10. Because you're not going to get many 10s out of the whole print run of Marvel Unbound in any character. And I'm really ahead with grading these because the set isn't even released yet. So time will tell. I could be wrong.
A bit about that. Sorry, before you continue. So how does all that work for the newer guys?
So if you get on e-pack from Upper Deck, you can go ahead and create an account, and every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, so my time in California, you can go ahead and purchase these packs called Marvel Unbound. They're a weekly pack, so they come out with 1 character, and it's alphabetical. So this was like week 3 or whatever, Black Widow. So I think it was Ant-Man, Black Knight, and then Black Widow. So on week 3 of this set coming out, you had the pretty much biggest character so far, and Fred Ian does incredible art with females. So yeah. I was really excited about this one. I missed out and I overslept. So if you do that and you miss out by even 30 minutes, these are hard numbered cards. It's hard to see the number here.
What serial number are they?
Right there. And it says number 261 out of 999. So you have 999 cards, and you have 50, which are the insert. Now, each pack is guaranteed one of these, and you can only buy up to 3 packs. So each transaction, 3 packs max. And it usually, with so many people buying at once on the website, you can imagine the website gets slow. It's hard to just get one transaction in. I woke up 30 minutes late. By the time I got in, Black Widow was gone. So this product sells out every week. Doesn't matter if it's Groot. Doesn't matter if it's Cloak and Dagger. Doesn't matter if it's Ant-Man. It's going to sell out in 30 minutes because you are randomly inserted an auto, which was the one I showed you of Blink.
Yeah.
And those are out of 50. So he only signed 50 of those cards. And the last character was Iron Man. So I pulled an Iron Man auto. I'm happy right now. I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, you're blessed. Love it. So I would just say I like these Unbound cards actually. Out of 999, that's quite a high number for something modern, is what I would be thinking in that respect. And the other one you said was out of 50, right?
Correct. So you're getting 1 in 20 chance to pull that bonus card from that one e-pack.
Yeah.
So on e-pack, you have that you hit the next on the second card, and you might get that 1 in 20 chance. So it's 50. I mean, out of 50, that's where you're talking rarity, and that's where you're talking. And anything signed by an artist, anything like that on top of the rarity of it, to me, just screams like try to get your hands on it.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, hey, Marvel Madness. It's almost 11:30 here, so it's all good. We're talking Marvel cards. It's all good. So I think that says tiered rarities to PMGs. I think.
Oh, yeah.
Ask. So do you want to? You go ahead. You know a lot about it as well.
Yeah. I think we happen to be really good friends with someone that has the highest tier and highest of rarity in the highest of characters possible. So obviously, when it comes to Marvel, who could it be? But you have Spider-Man, you have Wolverine, and you have arguably Deadpool or somebody else you might want to throw in the top 3. In those characters, hey, even Silver Surfer, really good character, Norrin. With those 3 characters, Spidey Jew happens to have the Spider-Man #1 character in Marvel right now. Well, probably for end of time, as long as we're alive. In gold, PMG, which is a 1 of 1. Incredible card. Those are the holy grails of type of PMGs, and not something you're gonna easily grab a hold of. So there's that, and we know who has it. And then there's the next tier, which is out of 10, and then there's the next tier out of 5 for certain sets have purple. So it's like that's the in between. Purple is like a toughie because some people manage to grab them all, and you never hear about them again.
Yeah.
So that's a scary thought.
There's a lot of that happening.
Yeah, there's some PMG people that they collect them to a sick degree. So whatever you can find available, I say, hey, if there's blues, reds, grab them if they're less than $100, because those are just out of 49 and out of 99. Those are hard to get now. Those are really hard to get. And the greens don't even start me with those. 10 out of 10. Anything out of 10, good luck. At this point. I hate to be a pessimist, but if you're a big character collector, even like characters like Gambit, Phoenix, Magneto, characters you think, okay, they're not Wolverine and Spider-Man, good luck. Because Captain America just sold how much, Gingy? The blue?
5.4K. Yeah, $5,400. Insane. PSA 9, yeah. So Ryan, what I would say, so 2013 PMGs, the in terms of tiers, you have the greens, which are out of oh my god, 10, sorry. You've got the blues, which are out of 50, and you've got the reds out of 99, and then the bronzes out of 199, right?
Correct. And I will say this. I will say one more thing about PMGs. The newest PMGs available in Marvel are the 2021 MU X-Men Metal, and they're completely different than any of the other PMGs we've accustomed to. But what I do think they have going for them in their rarity is they're following the original rule of PMGs, which is the first 10 are green, the last 90 or whatever it is, 90 are the reds. So whenever you pull a red PMG of any character in the newer sets, they're not going to be in the low numbers. They're going to be 11 through 99/100. So you could get the Omega, but you're probably not going to get an Alpha unless you pick the green. So it's kind of like the original rubric, but not the fan favorite of PMGs. I'd say in terms of PMGs, number 5 would be that set. Number 4, 2018 Fleer Ultra X-Men. Then 2017, and you kind of can go chronologically until you get to 2013.
2013, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Spot on. I think we answered that question. Wolfman Collect says, why the cringe with the early 19 Marvel Universe?
Just my taste, my personal taste. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. There are some cards in there I love. Wolverine, Jim Lee, the holograms, the Spider-Man, Cosmic Spider-Man. There's some really cool cards in there, but they're just not everybody has, it's like with sets, it's also kind of subjective. So I'd say the 90 MU, what it has going for it is it's that inaugural kind of like set in so many ways. But like, I don't know. Other than that, for me, the art doesn't like hold like some of the other years. But that's just personal.
To bring it back, Wolfman, if you don't already know and you're kind of new, I might be assuming that. So sorry if I am. So kind of the early start, the start of the year, these cards, in particular the 90 MU cards, started to pop. I say pop, I mean like really blow up in terms of people started opening these boxes, getting them graded, getting 10s, and then selling those PSA 10s for like, $3,000, $4,000 at a time. And since that point, PSA is now graded over 10,000 of these cards from this set. And those have come down dramatically. They've not hit the new floor, I don't think, which is very interesting. Because if you get a PSA 10 in 90 MU set, you're doing all right. Like, you're doing okay, especially if you can get a holo. But that is a different level. So that it wasn't a cringe as such. It was just like just a bit of a, I mean, even I've made this mistake. Oh, look at that. That's a wicked buyback, guys. Is that 95 Flair?
Yeah, this is 94, actually. This is Havoc.
Get on ComC, guys, and you can get these for dirt.
These are the boxes that you guys have been like speculating on. So you can just buy these single on ComC for great price. Right now, there's a 6 Cyclops.
Yeah, I've been looking at it today.
Guys, dude,
if you don't
Marvel buyback.
Yeah, if you don't have an account, please, if you're going to look at potentially doing this, and again, we are not financial advisors, but make sure you create an account, sign in. Sometimes it's really, really good to load. Oh, that is sweet. Massively underrated.
Nobody even thinks about these guys.
Like the prices. Yeah,
$10.
The prices for some of his cards are just ridiculously low. Don't understand that. Anyway, so sign in. You'll see cheaper prices. Secondly, make best offers, and you can do that by loading store credit. Again, risky is risky for me because if I put credit on it, I always use it, and then I run out of money. That's just me. But put those best offers in. I've had some insane deals by throwing out some offers to ComC listings. So make sure you're doing that. But wicked cards, Victor.
Yeah, I have to say, there's something to say about those buybacks. They kind of like snuck it in on us with those. They kind of like, well, you guys think you have value with your 90s cards. Wait till we throw in some buybacks. Yeah, those have really taken storm, and I have one here graded that I want to show you.
Oh, nice.
Before we finish up, because I think it is spectacular. Let me grab it right now. I have it here in my PC because these are things I want to catalog.
Yeah, no worries. Marvel Madness. No, I didn't. I will though, my friend. I will. We'll catch up and we'll do a video. No problem. What's the site? ComC, my friend. ComC. Do some research before doing anything.
And these, careful grading any metal flashers.
Yeah.
The
Silver flashes. And this
any
is
flash will. Oh,
yeah.
sorry, guys. Just wanted to say that.
Wow. PSA 9 Hollow is great grade. Marvel Madness. That's amazing. Fair play.
So this one right here, got to show you. It's an 8.5, but it's my favorite 8.5 I'm ever going to have because I got this one pretty cheap on eBay on a bid, and it's a buyback. Marvel Metal Scarlet Witch, and these are out of 10. So this is number 3.
Wow.
Out of 10.
Nice.
Unfortunately, the 8.5 is a stinger, but
still a sick grade.
It was just because right on the buyback logo, little scratch. But other than that, beautiful card. Sharp corners, really nice. I have to say, if you guys pull any of those Marvel Metal buybacks, grade them. Grade them even if they don't get a great grade.
Yeah.
People say don't grade anything less than 10. My advice with buybacks, you can't go wrong grading those because you get a leg up on the other numbered cards. And believe it or not, I think that's important because there's only, when you get to 5 and 1 of 1, that's where it's like, it doesn't matter if it's graded. Get it authenticated, you're good to go. But out of 10, there's still room to be like, you could outshine one other person's card. Someone else out there is going to pull this in an e-pack when it comes out. And they're going to be like, oh, crap, let me grade it.
Yeah.
And they're going to outshine me. And they might even be able to grade with PSA and triple outshine me.
Yeah.
But
so,
I could be wrong.
No, I don't think you are. On that point, there's 3 cards, and I've done an Instagram video, Instagram post on this. There's 3 SGC cards that are buybacks currently on eBay, guys, from the Flair 94 or 5, I can't remember. And that's kind of the first ones I've seen of the buyback cards. So I'm going to follow that progress and see what they end up at. But I'm really interested to see. But yeah, you're spot on with that. Don't worry about the grade so much.
No shaking. No shaking.
Yeah.
So some of these are going to get 9s out there, and those are as good as 10s. Because with these sets, the most recent sets in pandemic, we're going to call these the pandemic sets. In one day, people are going to realize because there's going to be so few 10s. And one day you'll be making a video. Gingy will be in his 40s doing his, all right, got to do a weekly pop work. And he's going to find that, yeah, Marvelous Packs was spot on.
He was bang on, baby.
Maybe not about SGC, but he was spot on about other things.
Don't say that now. Like after all the spill you've just given me.
No. What I'm saying is, I really love SGC as a collector, and I do see them only going up. I do think it's important people realize PSA is king, and I'm not going to change anybody's mind on that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to continue grading and doing my part because for me, it's important. And some people are going to decide it's great, SGC all the way. Some people are going to decide I'm going to wait till CGC grades, or I'm going to wait for PSA to open. All I'm saying is there's so many ways to do this, and I don't think there's a wrong answer. I just think like in my shoes, I'm probably going to have to wait a little while longer before I start like showing like the results some other people are getting right now. But I'm okay with that because I'm in this long run.
Winner. Yeah, 100%. And this is why I wanted like to do a video with you, Victor, is to show that different side and like have a slightly different opinion. I just see it as only a good thing for Marvel cards, and that's purely my opinion. Like, and that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to collect, enjoy what we're doing, and go from there.
Could you give us an update on your PSA order, Gingy?
Oh, fine. Yeah. So let me give you all an update. So I screwed up. And I sent about 8 or 9 90 MU cards, to be completely honest. And I now wish I didn't. I'll be completely honest again. I think I will get majority 9s and 10s. I do think I'll get at least 3-4 10s out of those 8 or 9 cards. I can't remember how many I submitted. So I'll make my money back. But should I have done what I did? Absolutely not. Would I have, looking back, would I have changed what I did? Yes. I'd be looking at these buyback cards, number one. So yeah, I'm waiting on them to come back in the next few weeks. I'm not going to lie, I will probably sell them. So if anyone wants some, let me know. I'll probably keep 1 or 2 just for PC.
Do you have any Key Pride or Colossus?
No, my friend. I did key characters, like, apart from Bullseye, I think I did all key characters. And
that's what you should be doing. So that's the right answer all the way. I was just asking because you never know.
Yeah, but I will keep an eye out for you. Don't worry.
Hey, no worries. I actually find there's good deals. If you're a character hunter, go graded instead of raw if you're not collecting a A1, A2 character, because you can get some nice deals. And I think Gingerman's been highlighting it every time. Like, he even says with certain SGC, oh, that's a buy 100%. So he's not just pushing PSA all the time either. No. Like, if he sees a good deal, he's like, oh, you guys should definitely.
So many out
if it were me and I had the money, I would pull the trigger on that. That's him basically saying, if you like that character, you get that card.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Thoughts on collecting misprinted cards? Like, we'll round it off in a minute, but there's questions coming in. You can take this one, Victor, because I don't really know enough.
There are a niche within a niche. So you have a very, very specific group of people that exist. So I'd say join the Facebook groups because they're in there. They're in other avenues. And once you find that community, there's a lot, because I mean, as Marvel cards expand, the little niche will grow too. So I think, if you know and you do your research right, you can find some incredible mistakes that people value tremendously. So to me, I never poo-poo on those kind of things, because it may not be my cup of tea, but I know, there's a lot of people that this ain't their cup of tea, and so that's why I appreciate this hobby so much, is that as we grow, you start to find more people that you can share your cards with, and trading is where it's at. If you can find good trade partners and sell partners, you're going to be saving on fees and saving on a lot of heartache and headache with, getting 1,000 questions about one card, because some people, they will grill you if you're not good at posting your sales posts. You need to know what you're doing. You got to put a lot of picks. Grading takes a lot of that headache out of it. That's why I like this. I only have to post 2 picks and the card speaks for itself. There's nothing else I need to do, Gingy. If you have another question about the slab or how I send it, great. But I mean, other than that, you're going to be like, oh, that's a SGC 10. It's gem mint. I could buy that cheap and resubmit it down the line if SGC keeps tanking in value, or down the line doesn't do well as a company. But to me, I don't see that happening. I think the more grading options that are around, the more diverse the collection community goes.
100%. Yeah.
That's just the way it grows.
Ryan, if you're misprinted cards, I think of, I don't know if you're new or you've been in the sports card world, but there are many, many LeBron, Jordan misprinted cards, which are an absolute fortune. So again, the same principles apply, I believe. So definitely massively niche right now. I don't know enough, but definitely some legs, as I would call it, for sure. Spidey Jews in the house. What up? # blessed. And
Friday night dinner with his family for sure.
He said the gold Spider-Man sitting on the table, the top of the table. Right there.
Oh yeah, he's gonna need to rewatch this. It's a good one. This is gonna be a good show, I feel like. Thank you so much, Gingy. I mean, dude, from bottom of my heart, I've been waiting for this day for a while because I had a feeling I was going to be on your show. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah, man, absolutely. No, I fully appreciate it. And again, I love your perspective. It's a completely different one. I love what you're doing. Keep it up. And yeah, hopefully you've got a ton of value from watching this, guys. I certainly have. And yeah, see you all in the next one. If you don't follow Victor, he is at marvelous_packs. Is that right?
Correct. And I also have a YouTube channel. Please
Yes, you do.
subscribe. I have a few subscribers and I'm growing, and I'm just so happy to be part of the community. So I would love it if you guys came over to my channel. I have some cool reveals, and I plan to do some nice boxes down the line too, of some cool nostalgic masterpieces. So stay tuned.
Yeah, definitely follow that channel. I know this is all good stuff for Marvel cards, and that's why we do it. We're all in this together. So take care, everyone. Thank you, Victor, for joining me. God bless.
Thanks, guys.